Welcome to Happy Homes and Gardens. I'm your host. My name is Daphne Royce. I am a real estate broker, architecture, and interior designer. DataPulse is using artificial intelligence and machine learning to navigate due diligence, risk analysis, and financial modeling for startups, angel investors, and law firms. DataPulse use technology provides efficient operations and data-driven decisions. Let's welcome Erika Bahr, who is the founder and CEO of DataPulse. She will share insights on how her company will improve investors' returns. Hello, Erika.
Hi, Daphne. Thank you so much for having me.
Please tell us who you are and how you start DataPulse.
Awesome, definitely. So I am Erika Bahr. I'm the founder and CEO of DataPulse. I've spent the past 10 years managing data pipelines for Fortune 500 companies. And I saw an opportunity to start my own company when I was in graduate school. I went to a venture capital boot camp, and I had heard that there was not a lot of data that was being used for some of the investment decision making. I also heard that females were only receiving less than 2% of all venture capital funding. So I thought that was an interesting challenge as well. I decided to dive into the space a little bit deeper and wanted to really bring my experience and expertise from the corporate world in building data pipelines and machine learning models and bring that to the private market and to other sectors like the government as well. So what I'm building is an AI-powered data room that can integrate multiple different disparate data sources. We're platform agnostic. We could connect to Google Drive. We could connect to AWS or Snowflake, all the different data sources, and bringing them under one umbrella to then do AI and machine learning on top of that. For the data room portion, that is being leveraged by law firms and venture capitalists for due diligence. And then on the startup side, they are using it for preparing for getting investment, but then also they're using it to be able to track their metrics and information in an aggregated storage solution.
Would you tell us what is a startup and investors world like without your services?
Yeah, that's a great question. So before a startup goes out for funding, and it can be any kind of funding, right? It could be whether they're getting an SBIR grant or whether they're getting VC funding, or even if they are doing crowdsourcing. They need to have a repository or a data room where all their information is collected, and so that they can share that information for due diligence to really prove that their company is what they say it is, and that it also can show the metrics and information based on what they had been discussing with that particular investor. Then the investor will then go into the data room and do a very deep due diligence on the information that is provided to validate that the company is real, that the metrics that they say they have are there, that their cap table is aligned and correct. And then also in terms of legal diligence, making sure that all their documentation is in order and that they're following all of the legal procedures that they should be following and that it's in an organized manner.
I understand those work can be very time consuming and cost efficient. What would you help to simplify those startups due diligence portion of work?
Sure, sure. So when a startup goes out for VC funding, let's say that they're a healthcare company and they had to get a patent on one of their biotech technologies. Or let's say they also had to get FDA approval. And there's a lot of documents that are associated with both of those things, getting the patent and FDA approval, and they have to be organized in a very specific way. And so what DataPulse can do is the startup can drop their documents into the data room and it will self-organize all of those documents for them. And so instead of a startup spending hours and hours trying to parse their documents and put them in the correct folders, it just does it for them in the legal format that is standardized within the industry. And then at that point, when they take it, and they can also see machine learning metrics on where they rank compared to competitors. They can also generate a report based on the information that was put into the data room. There's a lot of other features that they can leverage. And then when they go out for VC funding, they can have that stamp of approval that, hey, this has been vetted, everything's been reviewed. And their lawyer can also leverage it as a tool for them to make sure that everything is in order and everything is aligned. They're not missing anything, that they haven't accidentally removed themselves from a board meeting, or they're not missing any NDAs. And it makes it a seamless process for them to go out and get VC funding.
There's a checklist?
Yeah, so there's an automated checklist within the data room. So we're kind of like Carta for due diligence. As you use Carta before, the cap kind of like a checklist to get your cap table in order. It's the same thing with data pools. There's like a checklist to get your documentation in order and your data in order before you go out for VC funding. So as it goes through the checklist, it will review all the documents and kind of check off each of the things to make sure that you have them.
That's very important, right, in this processing.
Yes.
How accurate is your technology, and does your AI and machine learning technology use a lot of data?
Yes. So we do have proprietary data sets that we leverage. And we also had this technology was developed in the U.S. Department of Defense Technology Labs. I was part of a US DoD incubator program, the Ensign Boundary program, and they gave me a technology to commercialize, and it was called speech to code. And that's the technology that is proprietary that we have integrated into the data room. It helps reduce hallucinations. So a lot of AI tools have issues with hallucinations, and in the legal field, you cannot have hallucinations. They're very, very strict about that. So this technology basically puts guardrails around that. So when the information is then presented or scanned or anything like that, there is guardrails to make sure it doesn't hallucinate, and it also retains the information securely.
Can your service prevent cybersecurity threats and keep data safe?
Yes, so it will keep the data safe. My background in data pipeline management for Fortune 500 companies has really taught me the importance of data security. I'm very much about data security, making sure all data is secure. We make sure we are SOC 2 compliant as we build out our technology, always making sure that that is the final stamp of approval as we are continually innovating.
How long does it take to processing digital data? How does the data improve investors' returns?
Yeah, that's a great question. So depending on the use case, if we are doing the machine learning model prediction for the startup, some startups like to see where they rank and how they compare to other startups, and also their prediction forecasting. That would be like a 24-hour process, because we would need to extract the data and then put it through the machine learning model. Other data we can extract within minutes and sometimes even seconds, depending on the complexity of what is being asked. If it's just a lawyer going in and asking questions to the PDFs, that happens instantaneously, and then it cites the source and the document that it pulled that information from. So it really depends on the use case and the task. And the startup can leverage and see data visualizations of their own data, or they can choose what they want to share with the investor, pre-term sheet, post-term sheet, and be able to share the information through their deal room. But we can do it relatively quickly, yes.
You provide a solution that connects startups, investors, and law firms. Can you talk about your large data architecture?
Sure, definitely. So as I had mentioned, my background in data pipeline management has really taught me the importance of using data at scale, and also being able to keep that data very secure in a cloud solution, and then being able to leverage the different layers on top of that for AI development, data integration, combining structured and unstructured data into a common solution, so that the entirety of the data can be leveraged instead of just portions or silos of data being used, like financial data or CRM data. You can have all your data aggregated together and really run machine learning models across the entire complexity of the company's data sets.
Do you provide trainings to your customer who use your services?
Yes, yeah, we do. So when we onboard a startup, we'll have an intro call. We'll talk about the different services that they would need or they would require. Some early stage startups don't need a lot of services, they just need access to the data room. And then some later stage companies need more services in terms of their data aggregation, API connections to the data room, a lot more data sources that they're going to be leveraging. And so, depending on the complexities and the needs of that startup, we do provide different support options.
And are your startups company had to be in tech or also non-tech?
They can be anything. Yeah, they can be tech, they can be non-tech. We have both. Our data set accommodates both. And then also our expertise can help them with both. If they're a non-tech company, we can definitely help them get up and running very, very quickly.
That's great. On your website, you have the 3 different services plans. Please tell us more about the services and what works best for certain types of users.
Sure, definitely. So the early stage startups that are pre-revenue, still starting out, they typically can get the data room for free through one of our partner organizations. We're partnered with Techstars, we're partnered with Harvard iLab, a lot of different incubators within universities, Berkeley Institute, like Founder Institute. We have a lot of different partnerships, so they can get it for free through those organizations and those partnerships. For startups that are post revenue or getting more and more or are starting to grow and get more rounds of funding, there are different payment tier options for them depending on the services that they are using and the amount of storage that they're using in order to aggregate all of their disparate data sources and the different AI functionalities that they're leveraging as well.
Are they affordable for most users?
Yes, definitely. So the benefit of using our solution is that they are able to get the most affordable option because they're being able to leverage all of their data at scale instead of paying for a lot of different siloed solutions. It's all under one umbrella, and so it's very cost effective for them.
I'm so excited for your company. And tell us if you have a big milestone for you in the future.
Yeah, so we are launching a beta with a law firm partner that is going to start that first week of April. We're onboarding 250 startups. And so if anyone wants to participate in the beta with some new AI features that we're rolling out, would be happy to have you join us. You can contact me at Erika, Erika, at datapulse.ai. That's data, DATA hyphen pulse, PULSE.ai.
Those startups will need to be in the Silicon Valley or everywhere in the country or
It
in the
can be
world.
yeah, they can be anywhere in the world. Yep.
Wow. Okay, that's great. When are you going to start to let people come in and sign up for the April services?
Yeah, so they can sign up right now and then we'll do an initial onboarding and then we'll let them know that they will be able to gain access that first week of April.
Okay. Do they need to work with a law firm that particularly had the contract with you guys?
So no, they don't have to be with one of the law firms that we have a contract with. If their law firm does want to work with us, we're very open to working with them and sharing the information and the documents based on the startup, giving authorization and access for that. And then the lawyers can seamlessly integrate with the startup in the data room.
Why is this important for a lawyer to have everything ready for the investors?
Yeah, definitely. So the lawyers really help the startup to shine when they go out for that VC funding and to show that they have all their ducks in a row and that they're ready to go and that no box is left unchecked and that no information is missing from their documentation and their legal proceedings so that they can just frictionlessly get funding as they go out.
Will you accept a company in the later stage?
Yes. In fact, we actually do speak and talk with a lot of companies that are in the later stages, and that's just fine. We can integrate all of their different data sources. They can have live data feeds of all their disparate data together, as I mentioned, under one umbrella. They can also run their AI modeling and prediction on top of that.
Great, wonderful. Where is your website? Can you share that with the audience?
Yeah, so it's Data Pulse, www.datapulse.ai with a hyphen between data and pulse. And so it's data-pulse.ai.
Thank you very much, Erica, for this informative information.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Daphne. I appreciate it.